Hey, how's it going, guys? We are back with more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5 reactions, this time onto episode number 7 of Season 5. Last time we had, honestly, a great episode. Last time we had Fitz officially reuniting with Simmons, and then we had a Fitz-Simmons proposal happening. So he officially reunited with Simmons in Cassius's kind of underground, kind of base level, kind of domain thing. And he, I think he entered his like what's got I think what I found is now being referred to as his Marauder era, his era as Marauder Fitz, because he like even the alias that what's his name Enoch had actually crafted for him for like his undercover thing, his undercover profile for being at Kasai's auction was actually as the Marauder Bostock. I think his name was I think the name he came up with was Bostock, but I think he was a Marauder. He was a Marauder. So, and yeah, I mean the Marauder thing looks good on him. He's got the jacket, he's got the scarf, he's got the mask, he's got everything else, the whole kind of rugged space boy look going on, which is honestly super cool. So that's fun. But he reunited with Gemma. I think. Well, I mean, he proposed to Gemma. I think the first time he did it, she didn't hear him because she had the whole silence thing from Cassius going on. So then she turned around and he was there, and she was flabbergasted to find out the Fitz was back and everything. And then she proposed to him at the very end after they escaped Cassius's clutches, along with Daisy. And then she proposed to him, and then he said yes, and it went through. It went through in the end. So that's what matters. That's what matters. So. Yeah, so we got them proposing. Fitz kind of spent the entire time actually trying to find a way to very improvisationally rescue the team. He got May sent to the surface, and then Enoch disguised himself as a Kree and then took the elevator to the surface, and he is on his way to track her down. But he got his hands on both Fitz and Daisy. He got his hands on both Simmons and Daisy in Cassius's kind of underground fighting ring. So he saved them both, and then they're on the way out and everything. So don't know, like if they're gonna reunite. I don't know. I mean, I think they might try and reunite with Coulson. I think Coulson, Mac, and Lena they worked to rescue Flint. Flint was like the kind of like an inhuman a child who was later revealed to be inhuman, a child connected to Tess, and Tess died. Tess died because I think Flint went through Terrigenesis with a bunch of other kids, but none of the other kids actually turned. Only he turned, and then Yo-Yo saved him. Yo-Yo saved him, but then Tess, being the one out of all the humans who was actually most connected to him, the Kree kind of took her in and presumably interrogated her, but then because she refused to give him up, they then killed her. So now we've lost Tess. So that sucked. So Tess is dead, and now Flint is in the custody of Coulson, Mac, and Elena, and I think even what's his name, Grill. Grill kind of found out the truth about Flint and the others, and kind of tried to have his own kind of torturous ways with them before he turned them all over to Cassius and everything. But then Flint's powers of telekinesis were unlocked, and he created like a giant Indiana Jones style boulder and just crushed crushed Grill with it, and then they hit his body. So Grill's gone, and I think Zeph is gone too. He was checking on the surface. So now both of them are gone. So now Flint, so now no one's really running Grill's workshop anymore. So or I don't know if there's any other kind of if there's any other humans in that kind of line of work ambitious enough to try and take over or something. But either way, Coulson, Mac, and Lena are free to go now, and then they're gonna take Flint with them. So they may well end up actually reuniting with Flint, with Fitz, and I keep getting names mixed up with Fitz, Daisy, and Simmons. And then I think Deke. I don't know if I mean Deke might have to reunite with them. He might not really see like much of another way out, but he might try and reunite with them, or he might just like run into them and then I mean, well, no, he's still locked up, right? I'm pretty sure he's still behind that welded door. I'm pretty sure he's still like because I think after Coulson took the rhodium credits from him, Mac welded the door shut. So I think he's still probably trapped in that door. Unless he's managed to somehow like MacGyver his way out or something. So which I mean I wouldn't doubt it. Like knowing him and the resources available on the lighthouse, I probably wouldn't. I probably shouldn't doubt it. But either way, we'll see. But I think eventually they may well reunite, because now Virgil's gone, Tess is gone, Deke is the only one left. If they kill him off, then he's gonna be gone too. So I mean I can't really. I mean, wish they would have kept Tess around because she was really, really cool. But then with Deke, I feel like they might actually just try and actually keep him around, because I think like actually having somewhat more connections to Shield through his father, still be like his father is still on the surface too. So I think that they want to keep him around to at least try and make that reunion happen. And then you know, see what happens there, and then I think him still holding a grudge with Daisy, and him still holding a grudge with like Shield as a as a whole, just kind of like just like shows off some kind of like potential drama in the future too. So I'm kind of curious to see where that goes. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. But we had all of that stuff. We had Ben. Ben died too. Ben died too. I actually forgot to mention that Ben died. His lies were caught out by Cassius, and then he died through Sonara's metal ball to the chest and everything. So he died. So we lost Tess and we lost Ben. So I think in the end, Ben actually did kind of give, you know, farewells to Daisy, like telepathically too. So he turned out to be okay in the end. And he was honestly just a survivor. I think he was not inherently bad. He was not inherently evil or manipulative. He honestly was like pretty much any other human on the lighthouse, just a survivor trying to make things work and trying to make things work with his family and everything. So the Kree, you know, like have kind of very easily turned humans against each other and actually made them want to turn on each other in order to survive. So, you know, remember, the Kree are the true villains here. The Kree are the true antagonists in this part of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. story. So yeah, we had all that kind of stuff. So we had that. So yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that may be it. So we have Inhuman Flint, who's telekinetic. We have Cassius. I think we had some Cassius stuff too. Cassius was some Cassius backstory was revealed too. He was exiled by his family to Earth, like to take care of the Earth project and everything. But he was exiled from Hala to Earth. So his father set him to monitoring the Earth project and actually you know, watching over and controlling the humans and everything. So we had that, and then his brother came. His brother is easily more highly regarded, and his brother is actually the one working with his father to control and maintain the family business over on Hala. So his brother came and stuff went down there, and then his brother was the one who actually suggested the Sonara versus Daisy fight, because then he wanted you know, he suspected that Sonara might be Cassius' strongest fighter, so he instigated that fight. So yeah, the brother is honestly just as dickish and just as kind of arrogant and stuff. So no changes there. But you know, I think now it's kind of like somewhat more interesting, kind of seeing Cassius in like a different ish in a different ish kind of like, knowing that he's actually doing all this with something to prove, and he's actually doing it for his father's approval. And I think even Fitz tried to connect with that too, like albeit with like the memories of his darker framework history and everything. So that stuff was interesting. So yeah, we had little tidbits here and there with that too. But yeah, that's pretty much all I picked up from the last one. So going forward now, we'll see hopefully the team reuniting soon, and then Enoch hopefully. I mean, I don't know if we're actually going to go to the surface, or if we're going to actually. I don't know if we're going to have to go to the surface to reunite with Enoch and May, or if they're going to come back and it's going to be a thing. Because I mean, we've had a good few episodes in the lighthouse now, so I think you know, maybe it might be time to move on from the lighthouse and actually escape and go to the surface, and maybe now actually seeing what's on the surface and actually exploring the surface. And because I think, you know, Zeph was actually taken to the surface and he survived until the roaches came, so the surface of the Earth is clearly somewhat still habitable and stuff, and you can still breathe and everything, and then until the roaches come. So as long as you've got enough firepower for them, then you can probably handle almost anything. But then I think the people still, the actual people that were bouncing the radio stuff off the 616 rock were still, I think, just kind of like hidden away on the surface. So yeah, plenty to explore. So yeah, that is pretty much all I have from the last one. So on to episode number 7 of season 5 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let's go.
Hey, how's your head?
I'll tell you
Oh,
when
Fitz
the
and
ringing
Daisy,
starts.
Fitz and Daisy reunited, yeah. Can you get out the implant? It's in her eardrums, right? Like, I don't know. Oh god.
Okay, this is gonna hurt.
Oh, he's gonna jab that in her ear. Wait, what? Oh no, the inhibitor in her neck. Oh no, god. Oh,
I've got it, yeah.
choking it out. Oh god. Oh. Oh, how far in did that thing go? Oh boy.
We gotta go.
There's the ship. Just gotta get past it.
Oh no.
Don't tell me that was.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was the shot? That was uncalled for. That was a bit harsh.
Is it noticeable?
Oh, look who's imperfect now. Look who's
Scars are
imperfect
badges
now.
of honor for the victor.
Oh, so when it's on them, it's a badge of honor, but when it's on servitors, it's just blemishes and these fuckers.
You'll make quick work of this.
Oh, he's got double-sided blades. Oh, jeez. Balls or blades? Which one would you prefer?
We're so close, Sonara. To freedom from this place.
I love how emotive his eyes are, even behind all that makeup. I feel like they have to be, but yeah, the actor does a really good job for Cassius.
You're begging.
Yeah, again, for the way that the Earth is, I'm surprised that the surface. I'm surprised the surface is this inhabitable. May's on the surface. Yeah, May's on the surface. Oh Lord. Oh, Enoch. Was that Enoch? That was Enoch.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh.
That is the third Brown-Nexian I have eliminated in pursuit of you.
How are you not eaten by those things?
They have no interest in me, as I have no tender insides for them to extract.
Oh. So he has
Fitz was done building robots.
no organs inside. He's a chronicom.
I am a sentient chronicom
A sentient
from the
one.
constellation you know as Cygnus.
Still can't wait to find out what a
I'm here to
chronicom
aid
is.
you.
Yeah.
Philip J. Coulson.
Philip J. Is it Philip J?
You're the son of a bitch from that diner who got
Oh
us
yeah,
into this
it's
whole
Philip
mess.
J. Yeah, it's Philip J. I was thinking back to the blooper where I actually mispronounced the name. Yeah.
Have you properly diagnosed the extent of your injuries?
Is he like Baymax? Can he scan? Can he scan body parts and just kind of, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your pain? I would love to hear him say that. I would actually love to hear Enoch say that. Yeah. Oh, who the hell is that? Who the hell is this with frickin' claw hands?
The destroyer, where is she?
I don't know. I haven't.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh.
Try again, the destroyer.
Oh, you see. Oh, now you see the elevator shaft. Just that. If you learn to look properly, that guy wouldn't have needed to die.
Where is Tess?
I'm so sorry, Flint. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. Oh, they have ancient like rifles. Ancient like older. That's a bayonet. That's from the war, right? That's from the older wars, like the World Wars.
Once again,
Yeah.
cross-section
Oh,
of
that
our
is that a
areas of
desert
interest.
eagle? That looks like a desert eagle. That looks so much like a
Firearms are
desert eagle.
fine.
That they have
Those who
legitimate
need the
human
safety of
pistols.
distance.
They got like a Glock or like machine guns or like grenade launchers. They got grenade launchers. I think they've got nearly everything from every time period, right? A revolver, perhaps. Yeah.
You lost a strategic outpost and thousands of warriors' lives in the process.
I was put in an impossible situation.
Excuses.
I was cornered, outmanned, and overrun. 2 of my trusted generals dead at my feet. Enemies closing in.
Oh. Oh boy.
Drink the odium. Fight and die like any of the
Oh dear.
Cassius
Is that like
family
cyanide
would
for
have.
them?
Rather than fleeing with your low-born subordinate.
She cut down my would-be attackers.
And you were both exiled for abandoning your posts.
She saved my life!
The only thing that runs deeper than the river of blood from your fallen soldiers is the shame you bring on our family.
Is it at this point we should probably start feeling like even like an inkling of sympathy for Cassius, or I don't know. He's gonna try and kill his brother out of like anger and jealousy. I feel like even if they take him out, they might, you know, have him take out his brother first and just.
That can't be. What is it?
What is
Unless
it?
I'm mistaken, and I hope I am, but that's...
Gravitonium! Oh, jeez. Oh no, Fitz.
Submit willingly or entertain me.
Oh, Fitz has been shot. Oh no, you are not taking my Fitz from me. They got Gravitonium from way back in season 1. What's that douchebag's name? The guy who shot Sky as she was back then.
Right now, I'm Team Shield, all right?
Oh, how convenient.
convenient
How
showing
convenient.
up.
How convenient.
No, it's mind-blowing that I managed to escape my room after Coulson welded the door shut. A lot of my personal valuables are now floating around space. Thanks very much, everybody.
This story's supposed to make me feel better that Coulson locked you up?
Discuss this after we're at the line of fire.
Yes, thank you. This guy?
This
Please
guy.
follow me. We go up the service
His
shaft,
name
and
is
right up the
Leopold
No.
Fitz.
This is the guy that sold me to Cassius.
Kill him, he's a snake.
I'm gonna cut his throat open. Oh god, when I'm out of pain.
I'm not here to tell you anything you don't already know. I'm just here. If you need me.
I guess that's the least he could use.
I lost people too, and it doesn't ever get easier.
Thought you weren't gonna tell me something I didn't already know. Maybe I should just turn myself in. Stop more people from dying.
No. You have a gift.
That would mean Tess died in vain.
You can help people.
Fitz!
Fitz!
Whoa.
Your boy! Your boy! Your boy's back.
How the hell you get in the future?
The long way.
How'd you get out of your cage?
Well, I let myself out, but thanks very much for your concern.
So no one likes Deke yet. No one really likes Deke so far. That's good to know. Flint, Tommy's still there. Flint. Oh god, no, Flint. How did he escape? What other door was there? What other exit was there? How did he escape? Rocks. Oh, is he gonna use the rocks? Is he gonna fight back? Yeah, he's gonna use the rocks. Yep. Oh, yeah, it's like a. Oh, that's a shard. That's a shard. Oh, right through the eye. Right through the eye.
That was for Tess.
Oh, that was a full-on vengeance kill. Is this guy next? Oh no, Sinara. Oh god damn it. Oh, Sinara.
Alert, command.
What are his powers again?
He can move rocks with his mind.
How is he gonna
Is it just rocks? I mean, so far it's only been rocks, but is it just
He's
rocks?
in over his head on this one, though.
I'll take you both.
Oh. Okay. Oh, god, got rifles and stuff. Bullets can go through them, right? Like they're not fully impervious to bullets. Bullets can go through them, because you know you can take an eye and a brain out with a rock, as proven by Flint.
Mr. and Mrs. Boba Fett will be here any minute.
What do we do now?
The cut of the Book of Boba Fett we didn't see. Oh no! Oh, they can just blow through the wall. Oh, they can blow through the wall. The one thing we didn't think of, barricading the wall.
Come on. A room full of secret agents, scientists, and superheroes. Someone give me something.
Stand our ground and fight.
Yeah, with what? Rocks and rubbish.
Why not? Just just get a rock and chuck it at them. You did it to Grill.
A belt buckle.
It's an anti-gravity device.
Just a belt buckle. What are we gonna do with that? I mean, are you really that good of a MacGyver?
No,
No, not you first.
I'm not gonna let
yeah.
you use this as bait while you make your grand escape. Fitzsimmons, you're up. You're last.
Oh, Deke is last. In his defense, do it before they actually manage to break through that wall and he's left standing.
Once more into the breach.
Alonzi. Oh, Geronimo. Oh, the newly engaged couple floating off into the stars. How romantic. Can she do it really oh, she can't. No, she can't do it fast. She'll just come straight back down again. Oh. Did she kill him? She did kill him. She killed him. Okay, well, Folnak's mighty warrior is down.
I'm not leaving with you guys.
You what? What?
What do you mean you're not leaving with us? You have to. This whole station will kill you on sight.
Look, you told me to use my powers to protect people, right? They're in this mess because of me.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to come up with a plan then, aren't we?
We?
Yeah, we. Remember what I told you?
Mac's staying with him. Is Elena gonna stay with
If you
him?
need me, I got you.
Mac and Elena. Okay, great. I mean,
What about never splitting up?
Yeah, I know, sir, but I'm not leaving behind.
we're gonna see him again. Yeah, we'll see them again.
I'll see you soon.
So Mac and Elena, yeah, the new parents of Flint. The new parents of the co-parents of Flint.
I hid a crate of shield tech in a wall on the base. Level 3.
On the lighthouse base?
Are you kidding me?
You mean the level infested with aliens that suck your
Oh,
blood?
the Vralnexians, yeah.
Why was I so... I feel like I'm not getting enough credit here. I've travelled through time and space to find you. I think we're moving past that bit a little bit too quickly.
Turbo.
Oh, level 3, the Vralnexians' home base, yeah. So he on the lighthouse then, I think.
Off is easy enough.
Oh, I think, was that meant to be the one in the Fitz and Hunter episode? Was that meant to be where they went, like the actual lighthouse, the lighthouse underground? Was that what it was meant to be?
There must be...
Ready a ship for Mastandar. If humans can survive the perils of this planet, it will be just fine for him to
He's
pursue.
dead.
Aston is dead.
By whose hand?
My own.
Oh shit, she's confessing. Is she gonna kill him too? Is she gonna kill Fornak too? Or is Fornak gonna kill her? Does he still have that pistol?
Holding your own against the destroyer of worlds. Valing, my own best warrior.
Or is he gonna hire her?
Confines you.
Oh, he's gonna take Sonara under his wing.
You the right to shine.
He's gonna take Sonara under his wing.
On my side, you will shine more radiant.
This is her freedom.
Than the stars we will conquer.
Oh, this is Sonara's freedom. This is her freedom. Yeah. Oh damn. Oh. Oh boy, he killed him with the bayonet.
2 of my generals were dead at my feet, yes. Because Sonara killed them. They
Oh.
were preventing me from fleeing the battlefield.
Who hides, stabs his enemies in the back.
And in the front.
Oh god. Doug, there we go. So this must have been their plan all along. She takes out Mastandar and then he takes out Volnak, yeah.
I'll never leave in your sight again.
Yeah, I feel the same way. That's why I asked you to marry me.
He asked first, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I don't know about you, but I could really use a drink right about now.
Oh, of course that's the end. I could tell right away that that's when a cut was coming. Who took them? Shield! That's Shield, is... Wait, Shield? Wait, this...
Hell,
The Zephyr?
what is going on?
Who are you?
I've waited such a long time to see you again.
Who are you? Oh, it's Robin! That has to be Robin. That has to be... Oh, no, wait. Could it be the girl or the... I think it might be... It has to be the mother. Like 2091, I think. No, 2091. It has to be the girl. That's gotta be the girl. That's gotta be the freaking girl. That's gotta be Robin herself. She's the one who has the bird. Oh, boy. So, yeah, fun, a very fun Shield team, Shield team family kind of episode of all them being on the run, all them trying to escape and do the thing, and you know, pretty much just barely make it out in the end. So yeah, so where to start? So I mean, I want to quickly mention the gravitonium actually. So then that's how like the artificial gravity on the lighthouse is actually kind of maintained and generated and everything. So they have gravitonium. So I vividly remember gravitonium from way back in season 1. I think it was it the 3rd or 4th episode? I think they actually like that one professor, that one old professor from Shield of one of Fitzsimmons' old mentors from Shield that I think he worked on the gravitonium with Ian Quinn, that dickbag that shot Sky as she was back then. So yeah, he worked on it with him, and then that guy was actually captured and being transported and everything. Gravitonium was a pretty heavy thing there. And I think from what I remember, that guy actually fell into. I can't remember what the professor's name was, but I think from what I remember, the ending of the episode did have the professor falling into the gravitonium and actually becoming like a part of it and actually being, you know, held kind of like held hostage by it almost. So. I think the next time we saw the gravitonium, it was towards the end when the clairvoyant stuff was happening, the Winter Soldier stuff happened. It was towards the end because then John Garrett tried to recruit Ian Quinn, and he actually gave him the gravitonium as like a peace offering and as a gift and as a way to goad him into working for Hydra and everything. So he actually gave him that thing. But then I think after that we never really kind of saw anything else from them. I think I mean I don't remember I don't remember seeing anything else from Ian Quinn or the gravitonium like at any point after that. So I think you know, because then I can't even remember if it was one of the things that Shield that Coulson's new Shield managed to secure in season 2, or if it was actually one of the things, because I think Season 2 opened with them trying to secure more and more S.H.I.E.L.D. items that were lost in the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the expansion of Hydra and everything in the beginning of Season 2. So I think they explored that mainly with the 084 and with the obelisk and all the Kree stuff going on, but I think they never really brought they never really actually mentioned the gravitonium back. I think like the gravitonium being what it was and being as special as it was, I thought, oh, maybe that would have been something they either, I can't remember if they mentioned this. I think if they did mention it, then correct me if I'm wrong, absolutely, but you know, I thought if they didn't mention it, then I thought they would have mentioned it, or at least it would have been referenced, like, oh, we just got the gravitonium back and now we're looking for this new alien obelisk thing, so that would have been a cool thing. But yeah, so I feel like then that would mean that that S.H.I.E.L.D. had pretty much the only supply of gravitonium that there would have been or should have been in the world. Because I'm not entirely sure where it came from in the first place. Like if they actually made it or if they discovered it, and then I think it being what it was, I think it being like a potentially alien kind of element, or like I think from what I remember, I think it might have been like an alien element or something, or like a really super advanced kind of element that wouldn't have been made under earthly conditions. I think it being what it was, I think, probably discovered by Ian and the other professor dude, and then they probably experimented with it, but then Ian Quinn being like the actual professor was a scientist, and then Ian Quinn was more the actual kind of business side of things, and he was the one who was focused on money and business and doing all sort of doing whatever he could to actually make that money, and even working with bad people and killing people. So yeah, so there was that whole thing, but now now the Kree have it. Now the Kree got their hands on it, so maybe they found it from like any kind of hidden stashes that were hidden outside of Fitz's hands. So maybe they found it from hidden Shield stashes or some hidden kind of Shield compartment or base or whatever. So they got their hands on it now, and they're using it very efficiently to power the the gravity stuff, the artificial gravity within the lighthouse. So yeah. But yeah, that ending too, I really want to talk about that ending. That ending, as per usual, S.H.I.E.L.D. endings are not only cliffhangery, but then also, just really, big reveals and big moments and just, big, like, what the fuck moments and everything. So, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. knows how to do episode endings. If there's one thing they know how to do, they know how to do many things. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. knows how to do many things. One of them is episode endings. They have to end the episode off on a perfect point. So, yeah. So at the very end, I think we find out at least like who one of the people who actually did actually like had the claw hands, and like the people the Veronexians were supposed to be afraid of too. And I think that thing makes sense that they had the weaponry and the skill and the pretty much everything to actually fight off the Veronexians, but then they have like extendable claw hands and everything, and they grabbed onto Enoch with it, and they grabbed onto May with it, and then she came crashing down. So there's that, and then she came to, and apparently she came to in the Zephyr. I think I could not clock it was the Zephyr. I could not immediately register that it was actually the Zephyr that they were on, because I think I saw the shield pillar. I thought maybe it was like a pillar in like a building underground or something where they'd actually kind of printed the shield logo onto with some sense of accuracy and some sense of actual kind of artistic like in a way that actually looked good, for fuck's sake. Just can't think of any words these days. Can't think of any words. So that would be the case, but then no, it was actually I think May recognised that as them then being on the Zephyr. So apparently the Zephyr may well be kind of semi-intact in the future, but apparently it's on Earth. It's still on the surface of the Earth, and it's still kind of intact enough to inhabit and everything. And then came the people, the peoply people. The people on the surface of the Earth. So I did not expect that reveal in the end. I thought, I think I was, I think they were all wearing masks. They were all like wearing masks and everything, like wearing goggles and face masks and everything. So I thought, oh, maybe this is gonna be like a Fitz style reveal where they kind of, maybe Bobby and Hunter could have been, maybe like an older Bobby and Hunter, maybe like a literally. I was like part of me was so ready, like, oh, if they bring Bobby and Hunter back like this, then please let them bring Bobby and Hunter back like this. But because if Robin's there, then Bobby and Hunter kind of got to be there too. I think, like to some extent. So I was fully prepared for it to be Bobby and Hunter, like an actual older Bobby and Hunter that survived all these years, and they're still kicking it. They're still kicking it, and everything. But no, I mean, we don't know yet. We don't know that for sure, or at least I don't know that for sure yet. But for the sake of togetherness and for the sake of us kind of experiencing this together, I'll say we. But we don't know that for sure yet. We haven't seen the people unmasked yet. I think part of me actually doesn't know if we actually will, because I think I honestly don't know if they would go so far as to make them the people under the mask integral, like if we would actually need to know who they are, or if we would actually need to know who they are, or if they're just kind of like people willing to still fight for the Shield cause and still fight for the stories and the glory of Shield and everything. But I think the one person we actually did need to know who she was actually Robin. So now Robin is like an old lady now. She's an old, a much older kind of woman. It did strike me for a second. Maybe I thought like for a few seconds I thought, could it be the mother? Could it maybe be the mother? But then I was like, like the mother was already, as old as she was, like even the last time we saw her, which was still like the present-ish kind of day. So then fast forward 70 odd years, and it's still it's not gonna like she's not really gonna last that long, and especially if what went down really went down, if what happened to the Earth really happened, then the people who would survive Earth's apocalypse is kind of minute in itself. So there's no telling who really survived on what's still left of the Earth as well. So I don't know. But yeah, Robin, she aged gracefully, might I add. She aged gracefully, and she lived through the years on the surface of the Earth, actually recruiting and keeping people alive, and keeping the hope and the everything. I think, but I mean, I feel like no, like knowing what we saw her do in that episode, like her sketching out the future piece by piece. I feel like maybe that was her destiny. Maybe she knew she was meant to be on the surface of the Earth. Maybe she knew that she was actually meant to stay and maintain some sense of strength for Shield, and actually maintain Shield to this extent, to having the Zephyr, to actually to reaccommodating the Zephyr and having people around and keeping them around and actually keeping them safe and everything. So maybe actually keeping this form of Shield alive for the team from the past to come into the future to actually to eventually meet at was actually the plan. Maybe that was one of the destinies. Maybe that could have been the last destiny she ever drew. Maybe that could have been the last thing she ever drew, and then after that she had to prepare, and then because now she talks. She talked before, but still, now she talks without fear. She seems a lot more open. She even said, I've been waiting a long time to see you again. So she actually talks, with a lot less kind of distraction and like a lot more kind of actual openness and stuff. So she seems a lot more free after supposedly having been freed from having to draw pieces and pieces of the future over and over again. So yeah, so she's the one who's been keeping. So I think she must be an elder. She must be an elder of Shield. She must be an elder of Shield. I think maybe one of the few that survived too, because I think if the others really died, then yeah yes. Because there are other elders too. I think that there have to be other elders too, and of course one of them has to be Deke's father. So let's be there. But yeah, no, Robin. This is the thing. The Robin, handcrafted by her father personally, being the ultimate key to knowing who she is. I love that. I love that pure kind of visual symbolism of if you don't know who she is, just look in her hand. If she got the Robin, then that's who she is. That's who she is. She's Robin. So yeah, that reveal was great. That reveal was fantastic. And honestly, I feel like the fact that they brought back Robin too, because I think I'm kind of weirding myself out of with the fact that I didn't actually connect it later, or maybe even consider a possibility until until now, because it feels like on the one hand it made sense to me that they would bring Robin back in the way that they did with that kind of Fitz and Hunter kind of future past episode, because with that, it was a way to connect to him. It was a way to give Fitz into. It was a way to connect him into the future. It was a way to actually propel him into the future. So they brought back an actual kind of like an actual clairvoyant inhuman who could do that kind of stuff. So I think that connection then made sense. But then it never really occurred to me. And again, I'm feel kind of stupid for not considering it. But I think it never really occurred to me they might actually bring her back in an actual Shield connective way too, and actually in a way to actually in a way to reconnect the team with their past and with their kind of legacy and with their kind of history even from the future as well. So I think that kind of connection then makes more sense when you think about it that way too. So it's cool that they've actually kind of managed to keep Robin around this long and actually kind of kept her in the loop and kept her connected to the story that way too. So that's been really fun. And then, Deke escaped, and he was not really met with too many friendly faces or voices. Once he reunited with the team, Daisy was no more happy to see him than she was last time, and especially after, everything he did, him selling her out and him doing the thing, and him doing it under the cover of, oh, I led you straight back to her, I knew you both would do this and that and the other, and I think, because I think, on the one hand, I think it's you can definitely argue that, he kind of took people out that were a danger to the current human kind of system, and people who were actually so kind of naive and so naive yet stubborn about the whole situation that if he let them carry on the way that they did, then they would have actually gotten more people killed. So then he actually took out the problem to try and save the rest of humanity, and literally what was left as he kept on kind kind of like arguing with them about. But then on the other hand, he took those same naive humans and then, or he took two. I think he took you know, one of those same naive humans and then actually thrust her head forth into a situation where she could have easily died, and she didn't really have like an accurate enough idea of what she was going up against, and then bargained and what's the word, like, relied solely on her ability to actually fight her way out of situations, which I think, again, he even stated the same thing, like, you know, fighting will only make things worse. I think he puts her into a situation where she will actively have to fight back and test her captor's strengths and weaknesses and all that kind of stuff. So Deke just, you know, I think Deke kind of prioritized, like, he very clearly prioritized the humanity's remaining, the remnant humanity's kind of well-being over the SHIELD team, and I think that kind of makes sense. But then, of course, like, his reasons for doing so just kind of seem a little bit kind of iffy here and there too. So yeah, but I think at this time I feel that could also very well just be his character too. Like he's making it clear that he does prioritize the last of his people's safety and well-being, but then he also like isn't really too hung up. Like, he's not too hung up over pleasing them, but then he also he also doesn't want to die. But then he's also kind of every time they sidelined him or actually pushed him back in the episode, like especially when he was like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll show you how the anti-grav thing works and actually take it out with me first." And they're like, "No. After what you've done, no way you're going to go first and leaving us here to test out Sinara and what's his name, Maston Dar's strength and their guns and all that kind of crap. So you can go last. You can actually watch us and make sure we're doing the right thing, and then you can go last and everything else." So yeah, so he faced the full brunt of his own kind of the consequences of his own betrayal and his actions towards them. So he still made it out. He still definitely made it out. Like, they actually showed him that they were actually better than him in that sense, that they actively wouldn't leave him behind, but they were just going to leave him to do things last, and he would, you know, have to deal with it and everything. So there was that whole thing. So I think it's definitely going to take time for them to warm up to him again and for him to prove his worth and everything. But I think in time it could happen. In time it could definitely happen. Hopefully next episode when we see them reuniting with May and Enoch on the Zephyr, we can get the reveal between him and Zed. I mean, it's really gonna suck. It's really gonna suck if like he goes all that way and he does all this just only to find out that his dad either didn't make it, or that maybe he got eaten by Rolnexians, or that his dad just like somehow died or something. Like he came all this way to try. Because I mean, again, like you know, the voice he heard was a pre-recorded conversation from weeks back, like from what was potentially weeks back. So like a lot can happen in that kind of amount of time. So you know, at the time he heard his dad's voice, that there was no proof that his dad was still alive then, because then they do still go outside, the kind of the elders and everyone who's on the surface of the earth they do, albeit with protective gear, but then they do still go outside, so anything can happen, anything can go wrong. So it's gonna suck. I'm not saying he is dead, but I think I'm saying it's gonna suck if, you know, he does go there and he does ask, okay, great, where's my daddy? Where's, you know, father of Deke, well, where is he? And then it's like, oh, he, you know, we lost him to Rolnexians a couple of days back. It was a really tragic accident, I'm so sorry. And he's like, for fuck's sake, and he just breaks down crying or something. So yeah, it's gonna suck, but I have full faith. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. I'm hoping Deke can still have that positive and warm and loving reunion with his dad, and, you know, just kind of, you know, hopefully maybe even join SHIELD in their efforts to save humanity and defeat the Kree and everything. So I guess we'll see. We will see. So yeah. And then some Cassius and Sinara. I was about to say Sinestro. No, that's DC. Sinara history. So yes, I mean, there was just some good old-fashioned Kree family drama, family tension in this episode between Cassius and Fornak, and then him bringing in his mighty warrior. I think the Sinara, his Sinara is Maston Dar, or as ever so lovingly dubbed by Daisy herself, Mr. and Mrs. Boba Fett. So yeah, you know, the Book of Boba Fett just finished airing, so that was a really fun show, and of course we have the amazing Ming-Na Wen over there too, not as Mr. and Mrs. Boba Fett, but as, you know, Mr. Boba Fett and Miss Fennec Shand, so, you know, both equally amazing in their own rights, so that was cool. So we had that, but then, yeah, I think Falnak brought in Maston Dar, which was his own personal kind of, I think, like his own personal bodyguard / kind of fighter / but potentially like a bounty hunter, the way he was going about doing things and everything. So there was him. But yeah, they even I think Cassius even actually had like a hidden or like a separated cache of actual human weaponry too, of actual Terran weaponry. Like I think I think he had weapons from like across the ages too, because I think he had like a bayonet which looked like it could have been from World War One or World War Two, like an actual old like the way the wooden rifles are with like the actual wooden bases and wooden hilts, and then the actual metal barrels and triggers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, he had like an actual bayonet rifle from back in one of the wars. 'Cause I feel like they definitely would have used them in World War One, and then maybe used them more in World War Two as well. So they had them. I think they had like a bunch of other kind of like different kind of wartime looking rifles from way back in ancient human history. So they had that, and then I think that really silvery that really shiny silvery one he pulled out. I think it looked to me like a Desert Eagle. It looked to me like a Desert Eagle. I don't know. I'm not sure if Desert Eagles can be golden too, because I feel like I've seen guns of similar design to that, but golden. So I don't know if that's like a more expensive version, or maybe if you can get like a Desert Eagle kind of like custom painted or custom modded to be gold or something. But it looked like a Desert Eagle. I mean, well, it kind of like I recognized it as a Desert Eagle from compared to other pictures I've seen. So there was that, and then that got me wondering, like, that got me wondering, like, oh, like do they have like Glocks? Do they have revolvers? Like exactly how extensive is their actual weapon? Is their human weapons inventory and everything and stuff? Because even Grill had guns. Grill had the gun locked in his thing, but I think that one was just like a regular kind of standard issue kind of handgun, like maybe nothing really too fancy or anything, just enough to maim and or kill. So. Or just maim or kill, pretty much. So yeah, but then what what Cassius had was definitely designed to kill with intent and with brutality, and probably even with style, like depending on how you're doing it and everything. So he had like rifles, he had guns, and he probably had like assault rifles or like just machine guns. Well, probably not full on machine guns, but like actual just like a different kind of styles for different things. And I thought they were going to pull a John Wick and actually show us like an actual intricately laid out table of different weapons, like different different. Because he said Terran weapons. He didn't specifically say Terran ranged weapons or Terran guns. He said Terran weapons. I thought maybe put like a whole John Wick type thing and actually pull out rifles and pistols and guns and like grenades and like explosive stuff, like explosive like dynamite or like grenades or other stuff, or like even like knives and batons and just any weapons you can have too. I thought they're gonna go like near enough kind of John Wick on that, but no, they just had like a table just kind of that was kind of hastily cluttered with weapons and guns and all that kind of stuff. So they use those. I think. I think Maston Dar used those. Like he used an assault rifle. He used like an AR. I think don't know what kind of AR, but he used an AR on them down on the lower levels, so on the upper levels even. So there was that, and then at the very end to kill Fornak, Cassius used the bayonet. He used the actual knife end of the bayonet. He stabbed him in the back, and then he finished him off from the front. So yeah, that was interesting. They did have like a whole cache of old old Terran weapons. I think that whole thing like he asked for the Terran weapons so that he asked for the Terran weapons so that he could actually hunt them for sport. Like he could like have the kind of even more sadistic pleasure of actually killing them with their own weapons and all that kind of stuff. So that was lovely. And then some actual history for Cassius and Sinara as well. So he used to I think they both used to kind of he used to lead and then she used to be his actual kind of battle, like his fighter and his battle planner and battle advisor, maybe whatever. But they both used to lead or at least he used to lead a war zone outpost, because I think the Kree are known for being at war. I think the Kree are probably known for being at war with like various different races. Like the Kree are very much like a warriorish kind of race, but I think the way they're also portrayed is like a bit of like a in a way that like they kind of pick fights with other people too. I think the Kree kind of are shown. I think probably especially in Captain Marvel too. I think they're shown like at least behaviorally they're shown to have some sense of actual kind of ownership and supremacy, and then they're shown to be like a bit like to have a bit of like hubris about themselves too. So I feel like because of that, like they're probably kind of at war with various different races, and I think that's why the Inhumans were a thing too. Like they needed like more soldiers. They started a bunch of different wars, and they started losing their own people a bit too quickly. So then they actually went to other planets and tried to make more soldiers, and then Earth was the only one that worked, and they did that whole kind of experiment thing But yeah, I think because of all the stuff that they kind of like spout out into the universe, so I think they're the ones who also instigate war. They're also the ones who instigate warfare and chaos and violence and all that kind of stuff. So because of that, like one of the many wars and outposts they had was actually put under the kind of the monitoring and guardianship of both Sinara and Cassius, so there was that. But then yeah. But apparently, I mean, the story according to Fornak and his father was that was that he lost all of his best fighters that day, and even two of his generals lay dead at his feet. But then instead of taking odium, I think he said he said instead of actually taking the soldier's glory and actually consuming the odium, Cassius fled instead and actually brought shame down upon the family names. I'm guessing odium might have been the kind of Kree version of cyanide, because then like in a lot of those kinds of kind of like cultures, you have like the actual kind of like the soldier's glory is actually, instead of being captured or instead of being killed at the enemy's hands, the soldier kind of dies by their own hand and takes the cyanide pill, or even sometimes like shoots themselves or stabs themselves or just kills themselves in some way. So yeah, that kind of thing going on. So I think in this case, I think in this case he might have been referencing that, like instead of taking himself out with the odium, he instead fled. He fled as a whole, and then he kind of made that kind of known throughout the battlefield and throughout the galaxy, and he brought shame down upon his family name. So then I think that may well have been the reason for his exile too, actually kind of teaching him a lesson in kind of taking accountability and actually having control over something, and then actually kind of leaving him to take control of the lighthouse and everything. So there was that whole thing. But yeah, I think then like Sinara and Cassius then are confirmed to kind of go way back when. To, I think possibility is that they actually met on that kind of assignment too. I think they were probably both assigned to the same war zone outpost and everything, so then that's probably where they met, and then they actually, maybe that's where they met, and then they got to know each other, and then they actually kind of stayed defending until things went bad. But then Cassius and Sinara's side of the story is that they both agreed that he was more of a leader than a fighter, and then she was the one with the fighting capabilities, but then he was more of a leader. He was more like he was the brain, she was the brawn. He was the thinker, she was the fighter. I mean, not that she couldn't think for herself as well, but then he was the one with the actual kind of tactical kind of like leadership abilities, and the kind of like the one capable of doing exactly what he's doing on the lighthouse right now. But then she was the fighter and everything, so she was the one with the actual firepower and the ability to actually defend them both and everything. So because of that, they both agreed that the battlefield wasn't really a place for him, but then they could both flee and actually find like a place more suitable for both of them to utilize their skills individually and cooperatively. So then she killed the general, generals. I think chances are the actual soldiers kind of fell in battle as they naturally would, being too injured or being killed in the field of action. But then the two generals that lay dead at his feet were actually killed by her, so then she killed them, and then they both made the agreement to flee and to find a place of their own and everything. So then I think, but then because of the fact that that makes me wonder. Like that makes me wonder: was he sent to Earth or did he find Earth? Because I don't know if they actually mentioned that in this episode, but I think because then that makes me wonder, like if they did flee the post, were they then captured by his father and his men and then exiled to Earth, or did they flee to Earth and then be detected on Earth, and then his father decided, okay, you found Earth, you found that little rock, and you found all those people, and now you're in control of them, so now I exile you to Earth to learn your lesson and to stay there and to monitor the situation and everything. So I wonder which way it actually happened, like if he actually went to Earth first and got detected and then exiled, or if he actually got captured by them mid fleeage and then, or mid kind of fleeing and then got exiled to Earth after that too. Because then I think maybe if that was the case, then maybe his father would have actually kind of consciously kind of scanned the galaxy for the lowest kind of point in the galaxy and in the universe to actually try and hand down to his son, and then he found Earth or something. But or then maybe they kind of got lucky after like a crash landing, and then maybe they actually kind of got lucky with Earth and then found this little rock and decided to take control, and then his father found out, and then this stuff went down. So I'm not sure. So then yeah, now they've killed both Masundar and Fornak. So now, then he kind of made her the deal that they would like avenge his brother's murder and probably Masundar's murder too. But then their goal would be finding the destroyer, finding Daisy, and bringing her to his father. So yeah, and I think at this point, I'm kind of like, they call her the Destroyer of Worlds because that then kind of makes me wonder, so then do they either know, or do they know whether or not she actually destroyed the Earth, or do they just think it in the same way? Because I think, you know, there's been no visual confirmation for us as the audience that Daisy was the one who destroyed the world. Just like so far, it's just been Deke saying it, and then now, like, everyone else pretty much calls her the destroyer of worlds too. So now, like, I think the fact that everyone else like says it too kind of makes you think that, oh, like they must have actually witnessed it, or like it must have actually happened. But then so far there's been no visual proof, like no flashback or no kind of other kind of tape or other kind of visual of her actually using her powers to destroy the Earth in the way that it's been destroyed. So yeah, but I think they keep calling her destroyers. But then but then part of me wonders, like, you know, like, could that also just be like a rumor that now that they've kind of jumped onto the bandwagon of, because then it sounds cooler, it looks cooler, like actually calling her the destroyer of worlds kind of builds up her rep, and it makes her all the more desirable for them who actually want her and everything. So then, you know, like, actually spreading that name through the galaxy too actually kind of makes it all the more kind of ominous to hear and ominous to find out about. So then you find her. And now bring, and I think, you know, like, truth or not, the name alone kind of comes with its own kind of set of rumors and myths and legends and all that kind of stuff. So kind of makes you wonder, like, you know, even if she hasn't done it, but now people at least think that she does, and then the power of thought and the power of belief is clearly kind of shown to be, because the power of belief in this case is clearly shown to be all the more powerful, because then people believed in S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Kree killed them. So now people believe what the Kree want them to believe. So now people believe that she's a destroyer of worlds and everything. So even if she isn't, it's too late now. So there's the whole thing. So now his goal is working with Sonara to actually find Daisy and to deliver her unto his father, and hopefully kind of redeem himself in the eyes of the family and in the family name and everything. So we'll see exactly how well that goes. So yeah. And yeah, I think I do kind of want to make a point about Kasai too. I think the actor's name is Dominic Raines. I think he's been in a bunch of different shows. I think he's don't know which one it is. I think it might be, is it Grey's Anatomy or is it Chicago MD? I think I'm not. Which I think there's one of those kind of hospital kind of styled kind of soap operas that he's actually on. I think he's on nowadays, and I think he's on nowadays, or at least he was on more recently. But I think the actor for Dominic Raines, I think I've probably seen him here and there in like different places. But I think he's definitely got one of those faces I kind of recognize. But yeah, I think with this one too. I think with this one too, with him and Sonara, and like him and the actress for Sonara, and like all the other Kree actually being under such heavy and such kind of like such intense kind of face paint and makeup and all that kind of stuff too. I think with Kasai, I think with Dominic Raines too, I think I found that, I think in certain scenes, I think in more of his scenes nowadays too, I think in more of his scenes in these past few episodes too, I think he's actually given context. He's been so much more emotive with his eyes. I think for him, there seems to be like an actual more vibrant and more kind of like a different style of paint and like a different kind of style of like actual appearance in terms of like his character's skin color on his face compared to Sonara. Like with Sonara, it seems like with him it seems a lot more vibrant and a lot more visible. But with her, it seems a bit bolder and a bit more kind of not subtle, but I think it seems like a bit less kind of like a bit less like it's the focus, and like for her it seems like it's like like a bit more kind of like a bit more of a gradient between different shades of her skin, but with him it seems a lot more kind of like it stands out a lot more. You kind of see it a lot more and everything. So I think because of that, I feel like it's probably a conscious choice on the actor's part themselves. Like he actually has like a more emotive and more expressive eyes whenever he has like an actual close up shot when he actually has like a scene where his face shows up and he actually has to pass off his eyes. Like now, given like how quickly things are going off the rails and things are really falling apart and everything, like the context of the scenes and like the context of his scenes kind of give off kind of immediately give off the vibe of him being a lot more panicked, and him struggling to maintain control over his own station, and him struggling to actually maintain power and everything. So then because of that, he's a lot more panicky, he's a lot more scared, he's a lot more kind of like worrisome and everything. So because of that, I feel like the actor is definitely taking advantage and actually kind of showing him to be more emotive and more expressive with his eyes, and actually his eyes just kind of pop out of his own face and everything, and you can really see them under all the kind of heavier and more kind of visible layers of makeup that he's actually undergone too. So I think it's like a really cool kind of acting choice on his behalf, and really kind of works to sell his character and sell the newfound tension and drama that he's actually found himself into. So props to him, and props to the actress who plays Sonara too. She's done a great job so far, and I think she's done a really good job of actually kind of like showcasing herself to be this kind of silent but deadly kind of warrior that that Cassius kind of has under his employ and everything, and she definitely gets the job done. She definitely gets the job done. So she's cool. She's really really cool too. So. And then we had the Flint and Mac and Elena stuff. So yeah, Flint found out about Tess dying. Flint found out, and he was understandably devastated. I think she was the closest, and also the kind of most positive connection he had. The one kind of the one fellow human that didn't really use him for anything, didn't need him for anything. She just kind of gave him jobs, and he did them, and then he got paid, and there was still like a mutually respectful and mutually peaceful kind of friendship they had going on, and then he loses that. And I think he kind of also reaches the point where he kind of knows that she died because of him. She died because she wouldn't give him up and everything. So there was that, and then I think of course there's that scene of him and Mac talking, and then Mac initially promising like, you know, don't worry, I won't tell you anything you don't need to hear or don't want to hear, anything you've probably heard already before. And I think with those kinds of things, I think probably more like nowadays too, because I think the more it's been done, the more those kinds of scenes have been done, I feel like it's harder to kind of construct those scenes in like an original way, because then it's always the fact that, you know, like the one character says, oh, don't tell me that you know what I'm going through, or like it will get easier, or you know, this, that, or the other, because then that kind of gets to it, that's just like that line in itself, like whether it's in fiction or even in real life, it's just like it's just like a cliche. So there's that whole thing. Then of course characters themselves actually promising, like, you know, oh, don't worry, I won't tell you anything you don't want to hear or anything you've already heard before, anything that's like a cliche, and then they kind of go ahead and do the whole thing anyway. So I think it's kind of harder to kind of construct those scenes and that kind of dialogue in like an original way like nowadays, but I think people still try and people still kind of make something work. But you know, I think even Mac then ends up doing it, and then Flint's like, I thought you weren't going to tell me anything I didn't already like need to hear or I didn't already want to hear. So yeah, but either I think Mac could just definitely kind of like, she like the very least he did was actually still make it clear that he was there for Flint, and he was there, and he was kind of like, he was patient and he was understanding, and he was still gonna be there in his corner, like whenever he needed him. So that stuff was cool. But then I think from that point on, Flint definitely kind of adopted like more the mindset that, you know, like innocent people lived on the lighthouse, and people who would definitely die if something didn't happen soon, because then the Kree would just keep killing. The Kree would happily keep killing until someone came forward and said something, or until he came forward and said something. So that was exactly what he did. So then it was good. It was good to then see the team reuniting with Fitz afterwards too, like when Daisy was banging on the door and then she came in with Fitz and Simmons. It was good to see Fitz kind of, you know, actually being reunited with Coulson and Mac and Elaine and everything. So then that reunion happened, and him actually being like, you know, oh, don't, it's just a long story. I took a very long nap for, you know, almost a century, and then finally reunited with you guys, so it's all good and it's all fine. So that reunion was really cool to see. So then after that, Flint does kind of escape from, I don't know where he escaped to, because I think as far as I know, I think there probably weren't meant to be, or probably couldn't have been like too many other kind of escape kind of doors or escape hatches or whatever. So I don't know how he escaped, or how he ran past them without them knowing, because I'm kind of assuming that one front door was the only door there for anyone to go in and out of. But then I don't know, maybe he found like an exit shaft or like an exit tunnel or something that Grill had hidden away, so maybe he used that. But either way, he identified himself as the causation for all these things and everything. But his plan was not simply to hand himself in. I think I did not give him nearly enough credit for that. I thought he might actually just hand himself in to avoid things. Because then again, fighting back is also again not really recommended by people on the lighthouse. Like people do not recommend fighting back in case of actual death of yourself, or even death of other people in the form of punishment and everything. So I did not think he would actually be fighting back, but then he did. He brought rocks with him, and then I thought, oh yeah, he can move rocks. He can move rocks. I mean, question about that. We're able to recognize that he moves rocks through telekinesis, but then is it just rocks, or or has he only been using rocks as of so far? Because if it's just rocks, then that in the long run that may not work out, because then, you know, you put him in a room without rocks. Then if he only moves rocks, then they're gonna identify that quickly, and they're gonna lock him up in a room without rocks. Then he won't be able to do anything. So I think I'm kind of curious. I mean, at some point, I feel like it would be cool to see him testing that power with other objects too, like maybe actually him moving like an actual trolley or a crate or something else on the lighthouse, and maybe him actually testing like seeing, oh, is it just rocks, or is it the whole kind of spectrum of telekinesis, or is it like, you know, just me being lucky with like around rocks and debris and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, because I mean, it just being rocks feels a bit kind of useless too. Like if it's telekinesis as a whole, then then it'll prove to be more efficient and more fruitful. But then if it's just rocks, then I mean, not to say that there aren't rocks on the lighthouse, and then definitely not to say that there aren't rocks on the surface of the earth either that he could use, but still. Maybe in a situation like this where rocks are used more often and debris is picked up and rocks are used from Grill's place more often, maybe in that sense, it could be more fruitful because then he's now surrounded by more rocks in this kind of like in this kind of like an environment compared to like before the fall of the earth and all that kind of stuff. So. Maybe, just maybe it can still work out. I think it would still be cool to see him actually testing his powers and actually seeing if they can work on any other kind of minerals or any other kind of objects and materials. To see if he actually is exclusive to rocks, or maybe if he can actually do other things too. So that would be cool. But in the very end, I think he was constantly kind of under the kind of under that same mindset of actually helping the people, and especially I think his line of actually helping these people who were in trouble because of him, but also the only other people he had known his entire life too. Saying these people may well be kind of somewhat strangers to him, who would also kind of these people may well be strangers to him who would have easily sold him out if they knew who he was and where he was, and then report that to Kree. But then still, he knows that they're humans just like him. They're trying to survive. They're trying to live, and they're trying not to break the rules. They're trying to keep the blue higher ups all happy and everything. So he knows that they're innocent and just looking to survive and try not to get killed and everything. So he knows that. But then of course they are innocent. They are fellow human beings. So I think he kind of feels his own kind of personal responsibility to use his powers to try and help them. And especially after the speech that Matt gave him too of actually protecting people, he feels that kind of with great power comes great responsibility type thing. So, I mean, on the one hand, I wonder if they could have worked that in, like, even in, like, a paraphrase or even like, a modified way, but then on the other hand, I think, even if you did detect the paraphrase version, I feel like, maybe that would have been a bit too cheesy for them. So, either way, the concept is that he has to protect people, he has a responsibility to use his powers to help these people out of their situation, and to actually to help put a stop to the Kree kind of threat and captivity once and for all, so... Yeah, so and now because of that, I think Mac made a promise to him to keep him alive and keep him safe and everything, so he stayed behind. And of course, Elena kind of is happy protecting them both, so she stayed behind. So now Mac, Elena, and Flint are both on there. So I mean, Mac and Elena are essentially becoming like co-parents of this one Inhuman kid and everything. So we love some development. We love some character pairings. We love some team ups, and we love some great familial kind of content. So. Yeah, so don't know how far they might get with it. But also don't know how far they might go with it in case things really don't end up working out in the long term. But still, they're keeping a child safe. They're keeping him safe. They're going to keep him away from trouble, and they're going to help him figure out a way to actually save people and actually put an end to all this. And even said, like, after all this is done, that they'll find a way back onto the surface and actually reunite with the team whenever that's going to happen. So they got plans. I mean, well, at least they got motivation. They got the motivation. So now all they need is an actual plan. So in time, things will come to fruition. So we can just wait and see exactly how things go from here. So that's cool. But yeah, I think so far that's pretty much all I've really got. I think we had some great fits some great Fitz and Daisy crumbs. Fitz and Daisy have been like a pairing, like not even like an actual like romantic or anything pairing, like an actual friendship pairing for me. Fitz and Daisy have been a great friendship pairing for me from day one. Even in the midst of Fitz's kind of really kind of classic kind of schoolyard crush on her in season one, from day one, like that they've been like a really good kind of friendship pairing for me. So seeing them reunited in this and him kind of checking on her and making sure she was okay was really, really fun. And him, helping Simmons as well with like taking out the silver thing that was stuck in her ear. I think as soon as I saw him taking out the tools and picking one up, I figured, oh, he's gonna freaking jam that in her ear hole and probably hit her eardrum or something. It's not gonna feel good. I think when he pulled it out, I think I'm kind of like around 60% sure I spotted some blood on the actual instrument too. So I'm pretty sure he actually had to dig in there a bit. I mean, he did warn her it's gonna hurt because the silver thing was pretty. I mean, again, I mean, initially I thought, oh, maybe it's actually attached itself to her brain and maybe it's actually blocking sensory signals or something. But then no, it was actually just because it was only meant to silence her hearing. It was only really attached to her eardrums and just blocking any sound from being received by those and stuff. So only really kind of inside her ear, but still had to kind of go in and go through the hole, and it's just like a whole thing. So she survived. She held out and she survived. So there was that. But then Daisy, I think Daisy still had the actual power inhibitors on her neck, because then she tried to use her powers on the Kree, but then didn't really work. So she had to use her good old hand-to-hand combat. So then that was a thing. But just seeing the bus kids, seeing my precious bus kids just kind of fighting their way out, fighting their way back to the rest of the team, and just kind of doing their thing was really, really cool. And seeing Deke meeting them too, Deke reuniting with Daisy, and then actually seeing Simmons and Fitz and Simmons again was a really cool thing. So I'm curious. I'm curious as to how he'll get along with them. I'm curious as to exactly how, because I think again, like, he seems a lot close. I think actually no. I mean, they would be old. I mean, they're all older than him. Technically, I mean, they're all older than him, because then I think if he looks to be about 20 or 30. I mean, like, he looks to be about like maybe like in his around his mid-20s, like in 2091. So because that because of that, but also because because I mean, they haven't aged. I think technically Fitz hasn't aged. Technically Fitz hasn't aged either, because then he's been in cryo, but then the others just kind of travel through time to do an actual through the, what's it called? Not the Mind Stone. The not the Mind Stone, but what was it called? The not the Minotaur. What the fuck was it called? The monolith. The monolith. They travel through the monolith, so they kind of actually cheated time and skipped a few decades. And then Fitz did the same thing with the cryo thing. So I mean, despite not having lived through those ages, I think. Well, actually, that makes you wonder. Like, I mean, because they didn't live those ages. Would it even count as aging then? Because I think even Fitz was in cryo, this is in a similar way to Steve in the ice. So then, would that even count as aging then? Because then it would mean he's been alive for that long, but then he's not actually that would it still mean that he's that old? Because then people still have no trouble calling Steve 90 and 100 and all that kind of stuff because he's been alive for that long. But then is he actually that many years old? And then the same goes for Bucky too, because then they've both been in cryo. Like, I think their aging has been slowed down. I mean, with Steve, his aging was slowed down kind of non-stop during those years. But then with Bucky being the Winter Soldier, his aging was slowed down periodically from time to time. And then they took him out when they needed him for missions, and then put him back in. And with Fitz, he went through the cryo like the same kind of length and process like the way that Steve did. So then, because they didn't live through those years, does that still count as aging, or does it just mean that they actually skipped time and actually kind of gained a few more years ahead of it too? Because then, yeah, I think I don't know, because then I really don't know if it would count as being alive for that long. Because then how old you are is basically just how many years you've lived, like how many years you've been alive. So then, but then if you're not actually living through those years, actually properly living through those years, then can it still really count as aging? Like, can it really be the same thing? I'm not sure, because then if it isn't, then that would mean that he is essentially the same age as them, despite having been born decades later. But then if not, then that means that they are all still decades older than him, and essentially like senior citizens compared to him. So especially Coulson and May. Coulson and May just essentially being like grandparents to him. That would be a twist. I mean, knowing Agents of Shield, I mean, again, I'm gonna wait and see who his dad is. I mean, I don't know if his dad is going to be anyone recognizable, because I still didn't really recognize the voice even on the radio. But then I don't know if that's going to be like a different case of the face, like maybe it's actually going to be a face that we recognize or something. But I also don't know if they can actually bring anyone back in to make that connection. Maybe they might just kind of introduce like a whole new character to be his father, and then maybe to be his kind of like ancestors and stuff. So I don't know. But either way, I do wonder because of like how kind of similar they are with age as well. I think I'm kind of curious as to how they'll get on, because then I feel like maturity wise, I think it's like like Elena and Mac and Coulson and May are the ones that get along flawlessly. But then and then equally maturity wise and age wise, I think Daisy and Fitzsimmons are the ones who could get along. Like there's a reason they are the bus kids. There is a solid reason they are the bus kids. So that's why. So I think I'm really curious. I'm curious as to how Deke is going to get along with the rest of them, and how he's gonna kind of like if he's gonna become like a bus kid himself, or if he's actually just gonna kind of like hop along for the ride and tag along and eventually kind of earn his place or something. So I guess all in good time. We shall see what the journey holds for us. So, yeah. But yeah, that is pretty much all I got from this episode. So yeah, it was a fun one. So can't wait to meet Robin in the next episode and see exactly what the kind of future of S.H.I.E.L.D. Still holds and what kind of secrets it holds and what kind of plans it holds to stay alive and rescue humanity and everything and see where it all leads us and everything. So it's going to be fun. But yeah, that was pretty much all I got for this one. So that was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5, Episode number 7. So as always, thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then absolutely feel free to leave a like and leave any comments on what you thought of this episode and what you enjoyed and any theories you have and what your thoughts are for any upcoming stuff and everything, or what your thoughts and feels are for this one or any upcoming episodes and all that kind of jazz. Full-length reaction for those interested is going to be over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. That'll be cool too. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So until the next time, bye bye for now.